everybody, and welcome back to Encounter Roleplay. My name is Will. I'm a D&D sex icon, and I'm back today with yet another episode of Call of Cthulhu Doors to Darkness. We've got almost all of us with us today. The only person who's not with us due to International Gumball Day is Grimjack21502, but Greg will be back with us next week. It's actually a really good jumping off point for him, seeing as we've just literally jumped into a portal. But let's go around the rest of the cast and crew. Let's figure out who we are and who we're going to be playing today. And let's start below me with Mr. Redundant UK. Tom, how's it going, buddy?
Hello, everyone. Hello. Happy and grateful colonist day to everyone. I'm not too bad at all. I'm looking forward to Call of Cthulhu. I had a very good week, so I'm very excited to get back into Travis and the story that is unfolding before us. We jumped through a portal. And jumping through portals, only good things can happen in Call of Cthulhu. Only good things.
Dispensation.
So, just as you were saying good things, that donation there, I'll get to that in just a moment. Don't you guys worry. Who are you going to be playing today?
I'm going to be playing Travis McTeer. He is a Scottish investigator from the McDrew private investigation agency, although they have said that he's the last of the agency, but the people who said that tend to lie, so he's not entirely sure at the moment if that's true, but he's pissed off, he's looking for revenge, and he's got his cult with him.
Mm-hmm.
He's ready to
those people that often lie often kill people as well, so it's it really is.
It's a 50-50 at the moment.
It's a 50-50. It might be the last. There might be loads of you. Great stuff, but certainly the last of her kind. Lindy, how's it going today with Mildred?
I am doing super spiffy. Happy Agent Gumball Day, everyone. Looking forward to a full day of gaming. I will be playing Mildred Crabapple, the very 86-year-old occultist grandma who just loves the party and thinks they're just the sweetest, nicest young men. She has suspicions about a couple of them, and she's a bit worried for all of them, their sanity as a whole, but that's what cookies and nice warm scarves are for. So she's just going to keep knitting and keep believing.
Absolutely. Keep on knitting. Great stuff. Keep calm and keep knitting, I guess, is the motto there. We also have Donovan Fry back with us tonight. Don, how you doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm great. I look forward to Cthulhu Wednesdays every week, all week, until as soon as this game's done. I'm going to be looking forward to next week, probably. I'm playing Luis Delgado. He is a Coca-Cola baron. He's a Wall Street investor. And he's completely sane. He's doing great. There's no reason to be alarmed about Luis Delgado.
Yes, invest in Coca-Cola and don't ask any questions. That's the spirit. We also have Jonathan Pruitt back with us tonight. Pruitt, how's it going, my friend?
I'm doing great. Yes, keep calm and drink Coca-Cola. You should patent that. I can't wait to get to this. Will here on Agent Gumball Day, just so we can show you damn Brits what we're made of. So I'm gonna be playing Seth Penhollow, everyone's favorite cowardly book salesman. So, with enough books around, maybe he'll find a spine. Let's get to it.
Amazing. So, of course, I myself will be your keeper of our arcane lore tonight. But before we get into that, I want to remind you guys of a couple of things. The first of which is we're sponsored by Fancy Grounds. Go to fancygrounds.com. And I don't have I just realized that Mordoc's asleep. He's waking up. The funny thing is Mordoc doesn't work until about 1:25 p.m. on International Gumball Day. And that is to I've got the word there. It's being fixed. But Mordoc is currently vacationing with Agent Gumball. They're working together on a new project, celebrating together, getting a few Bud Light Limes in, rolling up a lot of staircases together, and shooting communists. So that's what they're up to. But I can tell you, go to fancygrounds.com and check out their Steam Summer Sale. They've got 25% off across the board, along with a bunch of other higher discounts on other items as well. So definitely go and check them out. Along with waylandgames.co.uk. They've got all awesome line of miniatures for both Call of Cthulhu and Dungeons and Dragons. So definitely go and check them out, along with their board game lines as well. Just fantastic. At up to 20% off the retail value. Of course, you can follow to interact with today's show. When we hit 20 followers, you guys get to decide something which happens next in our game. It is usually Agent Gumball related, particularly it being his holy day. I would expect, nay, demand that we have Gumball-based viewer decisions. Of course, here is a tweet for you guys as well. 20 retweets on this tweet will get another viewer decision, and to click the button down below to donate to affect the game as well, giving players nat 1s, nat 20s, wild magic surges, and actual cannibal Shia LaBeouf. Speaking of this donation, I want to thank Blackwing 88 Race Atlas for the £50 donation. Thank you, Blackwing. Appreciate it so much, my friend. Blackwing has been devising something with me this morning, which we're going to get to pretty quickly here, actually. It's going to be a lot of fun. So the players know a little bit about what's going on as well. But let's remind ourselves of what happened last week on the show, because, man, it was a big one. The party stepped into the shoes of some other people last week in our patented Cthulhu flashbacks. And we learned about Matthew Summers, the young boy who was taken away from his mother by agents of Caligula, Jick. I just weirdly put together Jim and Jack, which I think might be their ship name, Jick. But Jim and Jack, the agents of Caligula, took away Matthew Summers from his home, along with a younger father, Carmine. And Mrs. Summers knew that her child had been having all sorts of strange visions. Perhaps he'd been reading a book or two that he shouldn't have been. And for these visions, so instead of being sent to like an asylum and being taken away, maybe even to like some kind of holy retreat, instead he was taken in by Father Carmine, who we discovered is basically Professor X, because he has a school for talented youngsters. Which is basically mutant high as far as I'm concerned. So Matthew Summers was taken away, and we learned that he became Sloan after Jim and Jack dosed him up with laudanum to the point where he couldn't remember who he was and lost a lot of his memory as he was taken away from Father Carmine. But that didn't end so well for Jack. I believe it's
Jim.
Jack, right? Jim. Oh, damn it. I raised the names for reasons. But yes, it didn't end so well for Jim, because Father Carmine did not take well to his firstborn son, being taken away from him by Caligula, which was a betrayal of their trust, essentially. And he killed Jim for his sins. But young Sloan was taken away by our good friend Jack, taken into Caligula, given a new name, and we learned a lot more about Sloan last week. But in the real time, back of our other characters, they had a face down with Morris, the murderer of some of Father Carmine's sons, including Laszlo the monkey as well, of course, along with Castor Edwards. In a huge explosive fight within the cathedral, the party managed to overcome Morris, and with Prospero's help, managed to escape into a portal in order to find Sloan. Why do they need to find Sloan? Well, the reason is Sloan has the Necronomicon, which is a hugely powerful item, an artifact of Yog-Sothoth. The child of Yog-Sothoth has been born into this world, and the deadly plagues of Egypt are coming to Earth, coming very real to Earth. And they're on about day 4 at the time we're talking now, where wild animals are about to start to roam the Earth. And it's the apocalypse is nigh, essentially. When it comes to the 10th day, Yog-Sothoth rises, the world ends, and mankind will be judged for their sins. But that is for another day, because right now our party have just headed through a portal into hell, perhaps. So I'd like to kick things off, of course, with you guys giving me a sanity check, and I will have the fancy ground up for you guys in just a
Ooh,
minute.
of course.
Ultimate is Reaver, who is given a belt of charming, a beautiful belt, and anyone who wears this fabulous belt must make a charisma saving throw. They succeed if either party's been hostile. If they can, okay, interesting. Thank you, Reaver. I will bring this into our game, and I've made a note of that here.
1 and 3.
Always a fan of belts. You guys know me.
Well, I
You like
succeed
to
on
accessorize.
my sanity check.
20. That 20 for Lewis.
Yeah.
You wanna spend a nat 20,
Seth's gonna spend a nat 20 as well.
Okay. Did anybody fail? No.
I haven't
Interesting.
actually rolled anything yet.
Yeah,
I'm
rolled.
still...
Everyone stares at
Alright.
Travis.
I saw his stare like, the beard
Oh,
shirt.
yeah. On nat 20, yeah. Nat 20.
That's what they're for.
Yeah. Okay. Let me just find which you are here in a second time. I'll take that nat 20 off. Okay, so the party dive through the portal, and this tear of flesh and sinew. You guys feel it ripple across your bodies as you step through the cathedral away from this exploding place, essentially, which is coming down in rubble. As you step through, remind me who was the first to go through the portal, because it has been a week.
It was Lewis.
Lewis, yeah.
Probably followed by Seth.
Seth and Mildred, because Seth was helping Mildred out.
Yeah.
Father Carmine was helping Travis through because he was wounded.
Okay. That makes sense. So, buy me 2 seconds here while I bring Roldo back up and get our music running so we can dive into the scene immersively.
Yeah,
What are you guys, what's running through your heads right now? I guess as you're going towards the portal.
Fuck, this hurts.
Ooh, good heavens, that was quite the explosives that other young man had on him. I certainly hope that we get through this portal in time. Oh, good, we made it. Thank goodness the people helped me through walking things because I don't walk as quickly as I used to.
I do love how
Seth is thinking like, I'm glad I'm helping her. She's keeping up because I have to, in case there's secondary explosions, she'll take the blast. It's like using her basically as a shield.
Flashes through Lewis's mind that he should have eaten some of his cheese that's in his pockets before he went through the portal. That's like the one thought that he has.
That's the one thing running through his head right now is cheese.
Mildred's brain is always rambling like that and is usually pretty calm because once you hit 86, it takes a lot to get you, especially when you're an occultist at age 86. Sure. You know, not a lot ruffles your feathers.
It's
your heart
it's
can only
life.
handle so much. You as well stay chill.
Yeah, it's fair. Okay. Almost into the fancy grounds here.
Oh, no problem.
Everything else submarine there goes now. So that is good. Okay, so as you guys dive through this portal, Lewis is the first to fall through. And it is a strange feeling. It is like falling through water rather than just through air. It's kind of heavier than falling through air. You don't just fall with all of your weight. It's almost like something is holding you up, like you're moving through almost like molasses, like sticky and fluid. And images flash across your mind, and all of you will be witness individually to a sprawling sea of writhing chaos. You see where you've come from, which is a tiny speck of dust known as Earth. And you look out across this cosmos and you can see that there are tens of thousands, millions, billions of stars and planets greater and more advanced than your own. And as your mind's eye floats across the sea, you will be witness to huge architectures and planets and strange creatures that don't obey the laws of physics or gravity or indeed sanity as you know them. It is difficult to tell how long you will have been looking at these creatures and falling on your own, lost to your other friends. But something pulls you down, saving you from indeterminable insanity, being lost in this void for the rest of eternity. And you feel yourselves falling once again through water, not unlike the time that you fell through downwards to the ruins where Martin Poole brought you only recently. Instead, this time, as your mind's eye awakens and you find yourselves in bodies once again, you are no longer yourselves. Instead, you are slaves to a symphony, a chorus of music which is resonating within your mind, distant drums that beat along with a huge chorus, a beautiful melody of sound and song which is resonating inside your brains. You're somewhere with a large open stone track ahead of you, and looking up into the skies lay royal with purple miasmic energies and strange limbs and bodies that pull themselves through the skies, that are no longer just air, they are filled with this molasses-like substance through which, almost like a sea from which they can pull themselves. These bodies that are larger than skyscrapers. You look down around you and you'll look towards your fellow unthinking, mindless slaves. You are somewhere else, certainly back on Earth, but there is only the music, there is only the song, there is only the desire to please. And you'll look up into the sky as well, and you'll notice that smaller objects are there too, whilst your minds are gaping and staring. You'll see that there are flying blimps across the sky. On these blimps, you'll see that there is the imprint of a violin upon them, and you'll notice a face, one which would be recognizable to those who you truly are, as Martin Poole's. His face is stamped across this blimp in a almost religious manner. He is shown to be a messiah, a prophet cometh. And as you look around yourselves, you will feel a pulse, a beat, which moves you onwards again from staring at this point from where you are. Being slaves to this symphony, this is all that you know. All that you are is to follow, obey, and please. Ahead of you, you hear a rumbling, and it's the high, keen wail of engine, of oil and fuel, rippling its way across the horizon towards you, across this large stone track. You see them at first, and they seem to be people, moving their way very quickly in the distance towards you, as if they are running on all fours. And then you realize that you're wrong, because there is smoke coming out from the back of them, and these are not, in fact, people. These are machines, fueled by something. As they race towards you, hundreds of miles per hour, they're there in just moments, slowing down as they come towards you. These 5 machines, these cars. But they're not just cars, they are flesh-like in nature. Where once the hoods and bodies and ornaments of these cars would have been metal and steel, they are now flesh and sinew. Their engines, which you can see in the back of these cars, are lungs which heave and breathe and spew out smoke. The ornaments have eyes that move and look towards you in a tortured agony. There is no rhyme, there is no reason to this. It is incomprehensible and defies logic that such a thing could exist, and yet it does. There are empty spaces in these compartments, and you know that it is the beat that is driving you on to choose one of these vehicles to enter. There is a black-looking vehicle. Looks like it would have been adapted from a sports car. Whoever has been attached to this thing and sewn into it is clearly still alive, and their lungs are beating heavily with a low from the engine. The second car is a red-looking. It looks like it has been painted as well. Painted red, but not with actual paint, more so with blood, which glistens wet and sticky on its surface. Thirdly, there is a dark green, olive green, but it looks more putrescent in nature than any kind of paint, as though some kind of fungus has grown and overcome it. There are sprigs and sprouts from twigs and other fungal-looking spores covering this putrid vehicle. Fourthly, in fact, there is a sickly yellow-looking machine which looks to be infested with lice. This vehicle is moving in a very real sense as this huge colony of lice and creatures crawl upon it, coming in and out of the engines. Being seated in this vehicle would clearly not be a pleasant thing at all for the driver. And last but not least, the car down the end is a heaving machine of eyes. Whereas the others just have the two eyes for the hood ornament, this thing looks like it may have been made from eyes which have been glued or stuck, perhaps stitched together in its maddening creation. And yet, these vehicles all seem to work. The eyes look at you with a pleading desperation. They feel the beat the same as you, and there is nothing that they can do. I would like each of you to tell me what you, as the slaves to this symphony, do, knowing that you must step into these vehicles.
Oh dear.
Lewis he looks down, I guess, at his own body, even as he starts stepping forward. Is he wearing his immaculate white suit?
Your suit has been stripped from you. You're all standing there. You look down at your body, stark naked, with torturous wounds all over your bodies, lesions which glisten, bruises across your bodies, and clear signs of torture. There are circular marks on you where something has ripped out flesh in an almost animal-like way. Your bodies are barely functioning, but the beat drives you onwards.
The small part of him that is still just a little bit, a shred of Lewis, feels drawn to what he considers the flashiest, the sports vehicle, black vehicle. And he just kind of stumbles forward towards it, one hand outstretched.
Seth, eyes twitching to and fro, as they always are, him always feeling as if he's prey, looks at the vehicle that is covered in eyes with a sense of solace, being able to see every direction, to see what's coming, and he will step towards that vehicle.
Travis is going to be almost screaming within his own head, screaming to turn around, to leave, that this can't be true, wailing at the back of his head, but no matter how much he screams, he weeps, he cries, the legs of his body just seem to stagger forward to the rhythm of the beat and approach. I can't remember which cars were left.
Red, green,
One
and yellow.
car. I'll go with the green one because it's gross.
Yeah, the fungal
so he
machine.
the fungal machine, yeah. So he'll just, but throughout every single step is just constant wailing in the back of his head of Travis, just screaming, trying to regain control.
And Mildred.
Oh, I'll take the red one.
You seat yourselves in these vehicles of sinew and flesh. And of course, at this point, we do have a viewer decision. I would like you guys in chat to tell me what artifact they find underneath this line in the chat. You seat yourselves into these vehicles of flesh, and you feel a rhythmic hum which beats in time to that of the beat of distant drums inside your mind, which drives you onwards. There are, of course, controls on these vehicles made of organ, and you'll watch as Father Carmine steps stripped naked of all of his garments and garbs and any holy symbol that he wears, steps into the mobile crawling with lice, and you'll watch as the lice begin to cover his head, go into his ears, surround him.
Oh, not muted, I'm sorry.
You'll watch as those same lice fall into his mouth, and instead of closing his mouth, he opens it to them as the live creatures fall deep down his throat, wriggling and crawling as they go. The beat hits in once again, more urgent this time. There is something that you need to do. And you feel the desire. Something is drawing you onwards in the distance, across the track. Whoever is the first to be there will be rewarded by the master. Whoever is the last to be there will be punished by the master. There are no friendships anymore in this life. There is only obeying the will of the music.
It's watching.
And I would like you guys to tell me what you do.
Put my foot down.
It's watching. Yeah.
Let's try.
Seth's like squints to see what lies ahead, willing him in this vehicle forward.
There is a quite literal glow at the in the distance. Some huge green lights, not unlike the northern lights. In fact, is kind of glowing up, almost like stage lighting in the distance. If there were a concert in the distance, something is out there on the track that needs to be found, but you're not sure what exactly it is, and it's not your job to think anymore. Indeed, thinking is rare and punishable. So, as everyone sets off, I'd like you all to roll me drive auto. And let me know who succeeds on this.
I'm sorry, I missed that. What do you want me to roll?
A drive auto.
Oh, sweet Jesus. Oh, gosh.
It's all fail.
I rolled a 92 on that.
So, Mildred is in
Ooh.
fact, I think, got the closest to.
I did.
Oh,
Mildred's
actually,
the driver,
Yeah.
except for when the father's here.
Yes. You will watch as these engines of flesh kick into gear, and scream with the sounds of tortured metal and tortured souls in one as you race across this track onto the horizon. As you pick up speed almost immediately, these things whip and race around the corner, and you'll watch as Mildred in the this car, controlling these organs as if they were a steering wheel, puts her foot down upon this tortured car and sets off into the horizon on an immediate kind of advantage to the others. Seth isn't far behind, with Lewis there just behind him, way back where the slave that is Travis is having difficulties with his vehicle. Controlling these machines is not like controlling any kind of vehicle that you'd have been used to. Your arms are weak, you haven't eaten in weeks. You're sustained almost entirely by the flesh of maggots, which, while nutritious in some regards, these things are not entirely pleasant and indeed not entirely good for you. They simply keep you alive. So steering these things is incredibly difficult. Mildred, you race around the corner, and there is a pretty tricky turn coming up, and I would like you to roll me a drive auto.
Okay, well.
You guys haven't voted yet, be sure to, because I'm getting close to our point here. Very good, very good. So, Mildred, you are sent flying round this corner, and the car almost loses control, as clearly these things are not exactly stable in terms of mechanics in any kind of way.
Nope.
But as the wheels screech, you just about manage to make it around the corner without entirely falling off the edge. And you look down and you'll see a ravine, a cliff down the side. And as everyone else approaches as well, you can roll me the second drive auto.
Oh dear.
Will,
Yes.
could I use possibly a strength or a brawl to kind of yank the steering wheel using all my strength, possibly to ensure that I don't come on the thing?
If you fail, you're going to need to roll a strength, but the drive is the skill needed to get around this corner.
So just still do drive auto, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, God help me.
Lewis spends 5 luck
I
to succeed.
fumbled. I fumbled. Unless I've got chitty chitty bang bang, I'm screwed.
Yeah. All right, so you spend that luck. So you will watch as Mildred takes this turn, but it kind of slows down as she does so in order to be able to safely come around this corner and not fly off the ravine. But Seth and Lewis, particularly Seth taking the lead here, races past her in his own vehicle with Lewis hot on his heels. And thank you for that. Nat 20 for Travis here. Travis, you are sent flying as you do not make this turn at all in time. You don't see it coming. And your vehicle, you realize with about 2 seconds to go, is about to fly off from this ravine. There's no way of stopping this vehicle from going, but perhaps you can save your own skin.
Alright, I'm gonna jump out. If they jump out, what would you like me to
Roll a dex.
I haven't rolled below 90. 83, I
Didn't do
failed.
much better there.
It's not my day. It's not my
Travis,
day.
you fly out from this vehicle going incredible speed as you watch as it is sent careening off down over the cliff. making his way down and then nose diving down as the tortured abomination of flesh crashes moments later. But you snap your spine as you dive out from the car, and you immediately feel the rupturing of your spinal column and the snapping of your neck, which breaks, causing incredible pain and then a sudden loss of pain as well as you lose feelings in your nerves. However, you are not dead because you are a slave to the symphony and you are not allowed to die yet. By all rights, this body which was once Travis should no longer live, and indeed there is no real life to him anymore. But the camera will watch as the others zoom away into the horizon as Travis's broken body pulls itself up from the ground again to the rhythm of this music, of the symphony and the beating drums, and begins to walk towards the after the cars, awaiting its punishment. But it is still yet to be determined who is the winner of our race. So I would like a third and final drive auto from those remaining in the race, with Seth in the lead.
I'm gonna nat 20 that.
Mildred. Yeah.
Lewis reaches for his shotgun. Is his shotgun with him?
It sure is.
Lewis, as he's turning behind, I want to lean out of the window and take a shot at the back of Seth's wheel with the shotgun.
All right. Another shot.
With all my eyes, do I see this coming?
Perhaps you do, yes.
Let's see. Spend 7 luck to succeed.
All right.
Son of a bitch.
And let's see what Mildred fail. Okay. So you'll watch as Seth is racing away his car, the eyes all upon it, looking around as it is driving to the horizon. Roll me the damage on that shotgun, Lewis. Damn! I'm gonna go and check what Blackwing sent me. Yeah, okay, so this vehicle being made of eyes is perhaps not the most survivable when it comes to shotgun blasts. And as you shoot out one of these wheels which have legs attached to them, you'll watch as Seth is sent flying off the road from his position. And while not explosively falling off the edge as Travis did, the vehicle has stopped and just kind of crashes into the side as Lewis races to the end towards this glow. And then Mildred follows quickly thereafter. As you reach this end, and Seth will be able to catch up along with Travis, Lewis, you will see that by this glowing green light, there is a skull. And this skull appears to be raised up on a dais, almost like a lectern. And the skull looks to be moving and speaking to itself as you jump out of your cars towards it, and immediately feel the need to pick it up. You recognize this immediately as an item, a artifact, if you will, of great holy significance to you. This is how the master can communicate with his subjects when he chooses to. And as you take it in your hands, wondrously staring, you'll watch as the skull speaks to you, says, "Lewis, my, you never fail to impress me.
I always win.
That's right, you do. And I always make sure to reward you for it. So, we'll get to that in just a moment, but for now, we need to get to the punishments. So, you'll watch as Travis and Seth and Mildred join you here. Travis seemingly dragging himself along, the clear loser of this race. And looks towards the skull, kind of like turns itself towards you, moving in your hand, Lewis, and looks towards Travis. And it says, Travis, it seems that you have destroyed one of my children. And for this, that is a crime against everything that we stand for here. And for that reason, your punishment is this. Looks back towards Lewis, Seth, Mildred. Here is your reward. I need a new engine, and I will give you the tools to make it. Take this one here. Do with it what you will. This will please me greatly. And you'll watch as materializing out on this altar, there are tools of the mechanic, but also of the doctor, and of bone saws, and hacksaws, and knives, ritual and surgical. And this kit is laid before you, all you could ever hope or need to build one of these creatures. And you look at your blank canvas, and I want you to tell me what you do to Travis.
I knit him a sweater.
Seth begins to use a pen that's maybe a little bit too sharp, and begins writing, aka tattooing, the story of Travis that he knows as he knows it on his skin, as Mildred is knitting him a sweater.
It might look suspiciously like a seat cover of a car, but it's also a sweater.
What about Lewis?
Lewis, for a long time, he's looking between Travis and the skull. Is this like a human-sized skull?
It certainly is.
This talking skull? And he stares at Travis finally and says, I would like to see you speak with a different mouth. Would you like to speak with the master's mouth?
Travis doesn't respond. His body is just staring blankly forward.
Lewis takes that as a yes. And he'll go and reach for the bone saw, and he is going to try to give Travis a second head. He's going to try to attach the skull to Travis's shoulder, sewing and doing whatever he has to grotesquely to make that happen.
Absolutely. A vehicle arrives as the base sort of chassis for Travis, as you begin the first ornaments, you begin the first sort of basis for this machine. And over the next few days, the few of you will slave away at his body, using everything, not wasting any part of him, as you fuse him to this machine. And when it is done, there is nothing left of Travis anymore, other than what still beats his lungs heave in the engine. And the skull watches all of this, pleased with you, and you feel the beat louder and louder, which is a sign that you have done well. When this job is done, the skull and you're all haven't eaten, probably haven't drank anything over the past few days as you've been doing this close to death. And the skull says, my, that is much better. I am all very pleased with you, but there's more yet to do. There's always more. And you feel yourselves inhabiting these bodies once again falling through darkness. And as the bodies of these slaves collapse from exhaustion and from their brains no longer being able to cope with anything else shutting them down, we fall once more through this water-like substance, and we find ourselves somewhere else. Where we find ourselves is with two agents of Caligula. It's a bright and sunny summer's day. Jim and Jack, you have a task today. That is to test one young Sloan. It's important to Caligula that tests are done to Father Carmine's first to make sure that he is amenable to their needs and wants. And there has been some questions at the symphony, at Caligula rather, as to exactly how good Father Carmine is, but also how well the young boy is shaping up. He's a very important specimen, being the firstborn sent here. And so it's important that you test him. Of course, to do this requires a fair amount of opium in order to see inside his mind, to make sure that there's nothing wrong there anymore. When you took Matthew here for the first time several years ago, he was plagued with all sorts of visions and whispers. And the test today is to make sure that Matthew is well and is no longer having these visions. So you guys are driving up to the school in Baltimore today. I want you guys to tell me what you're doing.
So, Jim, how do you feel about this?
I mean, it's another mission. Wait, which one of us is driving? We can't be drinking. I'm driving. So,
I'll drive on the way back.
Yeah.
But I'm going to
that's the way
keep
it goes.
drinking until then.
Yeah, well, I don't want to get in your way. It's another mission. You know, Caligula knows what they're doing. I mean, the father, he's done good in the past, but...
Yeah, I mean, he does a good job. He's got away with the kids, but, he doesn't do the opium thing, and that's really what holds him back, honestly.
Well, yeah, I mean, we gotta try all things right. We gotta get this kid under control. But I hear he can do some pretty crazy shit.
Oh yeah, you heard it? Like any specific stories about what he can do?
I just see shit, you know. I don't know. But if he's always claiming, can't control it. It doesn't do Caligula any good, right? So we gotta do what we gotta do.
Right? Yeah. Otherwise, he's dangerous. Can't have that.
Oh, no.
I mean,
Then we get another job.
Nothing we can't handle. We can handle it because he's just a kid, but
Yeah.
So, how do you want to do this? You want to go in, how do you want to get him high?
Well, kids like candy, right?
Yeah, I did when I was a kid. I liked candy a lot.
My mother never allowed it. Tried as an adult,
Really?
it tastes like shit to me. Yeah.
Oh, that is the saddest thing I've ever heard, Jim.
It's about the saddest part of my life. But I say we
Listen,
get
if you're
some candy.
You sure? You're okay with this? You're not going to make you uncomfortable or anything.
No, it's sacrifices to Caligula. I made my peace with this long ago.
You're a good
Yeah, I think-
soldier, Jim.
Thanks, Jack. Means the world coming from you.
Hmm.
We should
So
be
I
able to
guess,
slip and find him.
yeah, he won't even notice. We should stop at a candy store, though. Any candy stores on the way?
How the hell would I know? I've never had it.
Sorry, that was really insensitive of me.
It's okay.
I'll keep an eye. I'll keep an eye out for a candy store.
You guys can definitely stop in at a candy store on the way and pick up some sweets and candy for
Yeah,
young Matthew.
I think Jack looks at all the different candy and he takes way too long picking, but in the end, he's gonna go with the classic, just a lollipop.
Okay.
And Jim's
All right,
waiting
yeah,
out
I
front
think
with the
this will
car.
work. Jack is careful to like hide the lollipop so Jim doesn't see it. He doesn't want Jim to, have anxiety issues. So don't worry, I got the stuff we need. We're good to go. Let's go see this kid.
All right.
All right. So you roll up to the school, treats in hand, as you see the gates open and a young boy with a flat cap kind of comes out and says, "Are you the ones that Father Carmine sent? That would be coming here?"
Yeah, that's us.
He's Jack.
He's Jim.
All right. Come
Together
with me.
we're Jack and Jim. All right, yeah.
Yeah.
He seems convinced by this, and shrugs, puts down the baseball bat that he has in one hand after the game on the green that they're playing out at the moment. These kids are out kind of playing in the heat of summer, and kind of calls them that he'll be right back as he leads you guys through the school to Matthew's room. Kind of knocks on it and says, "Hey, Matthew, Jim and Jack here to see you."
As the kid walks off, I just kind of lean over. It's
Yeah,
like,
buddy.
it's Jack and Jim. Get it right, kid. And get out of here.
He like shrugs, and he'll walk away.
Oh, thank you. Yes?
Hey there, little
Hey
Matty.
kid, how's it going?
It is going okay.
Oh, good,
Okay.
good. Hey, you remember us?
Yeah, you remember us?
You are the people that brought me to Father.
Yeah. Yeah, we were there.
That's right. We're friends.
Oh,
We're good friends with the father.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just came by to see how you're doing. How the kids treating you here?
I have friends for the first time in my life. It is going well.
Oh, hey, that's good, kid. That's real good. I'm glad to hear that, because, when we first met you, well, never mind that. Hey, you want a lollipop?
Okay. And he'll kind of take the lollipop and look at it oddly. I've never had one of these before.
Oh yeah, well this is an exotic one too. I mean, this came all the way from Florida.
Yeah, they got
So,
good lollipops down in Florida.
Known for
That's
it.
what I hear. Yeah.
I see. Well, very well. And he'll kind of just go and do it almost methodically, like after every 3 seconds. He'll
So Jack has laced the lollipop with the opium as well as, one can. But one lick probably won't do it. So he'll say, "Look, kid, I hope you don't think this is weird, but, we're just here to hang out, watch. Just keep going. Don't mind us.
Yeah. And Jim will like check down the hallway, make sure that the hallway's clear.
Yeah, you'll actually see that Father Carmine is walking down here. He doesn't have a face like Fury, but you can tell that he is uncomfortable with you being here, as he kind of like strides towards you in his full kind of vestments, looks towards you.
And Jim will give Jack just kind of like a look, like, I got this, and he'll just step out in the hallway to kind of meet Father Carmine before he gets to the door. Hey, Father Carmine, how's it going?
Jim. Yes. What are you doing here? I heard from the boy that you were here. What do you want with young Matthew?
Hey, we, kind of looks back in the room, make sure that Matthew's distracted with Jack and the lollipop, and be like, well, Caligula just wanted us to come check on its investment. You know what I mean? We work together.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I thought so too. I wasn't doing anything on this Saturday morning, so might as well pop down.
What do these checks involve?
Oh, just make sure kids are treating him okay. I mean, he's kind of a special case. I don't have to tell you that, right?
Certainly. And that's why I like to take care of him myself.
And it
Perhaps I
looks
will
like
be
you're doing a
present for
fine
this.
job. Looks like you're doing a fine job, too. The kid looks like in great health.
You don't mind then if I stay with you while you do these tests of yours?
I mean, I don't see why there's a problem. Jack, you see a problem? Father Carmine's here.
Oh, hey, Father. Good to see you. Yeah. Hey, what is this? You wanna watch?
I would like to be present, yes. Please, tell me what Caligula's best will do. I'm intrigued.
Well, we can go through it with you afterwards, but, during our test, we'd prefer it if...
I'll be silent as the grave, Mr. Jack.
Good. That's,
Stand right
that's
here
preferable.
and watch while you do your holy work.
Yeah,
All right,
it's just basic
don't worry
cognition.
about this. Yeah, it's just the usual. And he's just, the kid's just getting ready right now. There's a whole priming section first, and like a doctor, I brought him a lollipop, and that's just how we do it in Caligula.
Yes,
When
I'm
you
sure you
take a
have
test, you get a treat.
PhD in just this, Mr. Daniels. You seem highly trained for what you're doing here.
Hey,
Yeah, that's
Jack went
right.
to best schools. I've seen the transcripts.
He stands and watches. Please.
Yeah, let's all
continue.
watch the kid eat this lollipop. How are you doing there, kid?
Yeah,
Thank you, muted.
I can't hear you.
Yeah, that's some
All right.
strong lollipop you got there.
Florida ones.
Matthew will offer the lollipop to Father Carmine to share.
Oh, no, that lollipop's for you, kid. We'll get another one for Father Carmine.
Yeah, he's a priest. He can't do that on Sundays, right?
No, they got rules.
He doesn't partake.
Matthew will continue to eat the lollipop.
Can you eat a little bit faster, kid? I know, we got a lot of things to do today. If you eat it, there you go. You bite into it, you just finish it off faster that way.
So
How's
you
it
guys may
taste?
be intimately aware that Father Carmine, you probably don't want him here for this. But as this is happening, you hear a knock on the door. The boy that led you here is here once again, and he asks to speak with Father Carmine. Kind of leans down to listen to him and says, "Yes, boy. All right. and turns to Jack and Jim and says, "I will be back shortly. Please, in the meantime, do what it is you do best." And he's gonna turn and leave.
I won't even know we were here.
Thank you for
I
the,
very much doubt that, Mr. Bean.
thank you for the lolly.
Mm-hmm. So, kid, how you
Yeah,
feeling
no
right
problem.
now?
I am feeling
Feel comfortable?
quite.
Hadn't heard any voices or anything, have you?
I always hear the voices.
Mhm.
Fathers
What about-
taught me to control them. So.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else?
Definitely do some more. Yeah, probably about to hit him as the it kind of enters into your
Jim's just
system.
looking at his phone.
Yeah, he's just telling you. A few moments later, and you will see that Matthew's eyes are getting like really dilated, and you're finding it very difficult to focus at all, Matthew. And as those of us who are inhabiting these bodies once again, Jim and Jack realizing that this is indeed working, as you set to your work, understanding what it is that is going on with Matthew, our spirits fall down once again into the earth as Matthew's eyes shut into darkness, once again falling through the water-like substance to the voice inside Matthew's head. There is a place. There is a room. In this room, there is a single light. And it is a small desk lamp, which illuminates a very nice, ancient-looking oaken desk, upon which are carved ancient runes, which seem to move and swirl across the table, as if the wood itself were alive. In this room, and on this table, there is a book which is being written at the moment. Currently, its pages are open. The text is not one that we can understand because it's not written in any language which mortals can read. Indeed, some would say it's not even supposed to be read, merely understood. Pen nib scratches itself across the surface of the pages as it's still being written. The ink is wet, and there's a person sitting at the table. It's an older man by the hunch of his back, and one who is furiously writing away with confident strokes of the pen. Outside, through a window, there is nothingness. Clearly, this place is not on any earth that we know, any kind of place or dimension that we could understand. Outside, there is a roiling sea of chaos, as this one room floats in the darkness. It's almost as though, for those of us familiar with this, in a video game, if one were to scroll out of the map and see that the room itself were just floating in space. It's not really there. This is a similar type of room. And the man is muttering to himself, yes, 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 yes. Yes, you will understand. Yes, yes, yes. The man stops as notices that someone else is here. It senses your presence as he turns and looks at you, and this old, haggard face. It is a wispy beard, which is on it, or more like whiskers perhaps than anything else. The mouth twists itself into a small yet cruel-looking smile, and the man's eyes are glazed over. merely reflecting the lights from the outside of that sea. It says, Matthew, you're here at last. I was hoping you'd come here. Matthew, this voice inside your head that you've always been able to hear, you hear it louder and clearer now than ever before.
What is this? Why?
Oh, child. I am your creator, I suppose. I am your grandfather. In a way, I am a grandfather to all.
Grandfather
the
to all?
beginning and the end. I am the top and the bottom of the gate. What lies beyond, inside, is knowledge.
What? Why can I hear you now? Why are you not a whisper? You've always been a whisper. Why not a whisper?
Something very interesting is happening to you, young Matthew. You see, I have always been there. At your birth, I was there. At your death, I have been there as well. Many of them. There are more of you than you know, but I have always been there. I touched you. You have my mark. It's beautiful in a way. You're special.
Mark? What mark?
Oh, well, it's something inside of you. Something that you are. Something that you can see that other people can't see. Your race fascinates me. Your thirst for knowledge. Your thirst for me. Your lust and hunger after me. For what I am. But you started at a young age, didn't you? Yes, not like the others. That's what makes you special. You see, Matthew, I'm writing a book. It is perhaps the greatest book to ever have been written. And I need someone to read this book. For books must be read, knowledge must be learned. There is so much of it. So difficult to put into a normal book. And that's why I need you, Matthew. I need you. To help me with my book.
How?
You see, it's important to me that you're cared for, that you're looked after. And so I've made sure that you are, that you always will be, because you're going to need to hold on to this book for me for a little while. And then what happens next? Well, those pages have yet to be written. Well, some things cannot be known. Could you do that for me, Matthew?
And what if I say no? What if I do what Father says and ignore the voices in my head?
Oh, yes, yes. Father, his end comes soon as well, I fear. Only a few pages left, but you can ignore for as long as you want, Matthew. It is what you are. You'll speak to me again soon. One day you'll have to.
and I will be better when I speak to you again.
Oh, you will be perfection.
I will be better.
Yes, yes, you will. You see, there are those who will help you along the way, though they may not seem like they are. There is much writing to be had. It's not just my book. Other pieces are being written. Other notes, if you will. The written word is magnificent. When we speak again, we will be together at last, as we always should have been.
Go back to whisper. Go back to whisper.
Yes, I'll be here, whispering, helping, watching, nurturing. Now, be a good little boy for grandfather. Run along.
And Matthew will just he'll just stare at Jack and Jim, just side to side.
Did you ever talk with anybody?
Whispers, whispers, voice, whispers.
Who was the voice?
Whispers. Hey, was father, grandfather. No whispers. No whispers. And there'll be a kind of like calmness on Matthew's face as he, almost like in his own mind, almost regaining control.
Hey Jim,
What's up, Jack?
any of that makes sense to you? What he just said?
Okay.
Grandfather
something.
whispers. Did you even know?
I mean,
Does he even have a grandfather?
I mean, you know, logic would dictate he's probably got two, at least.
Yeah, that's good thinking.
But they both had the picture. I thought, you know, according to his dossier. So
Right?
really
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. Like,
maybe he's hearing his grandfather from beyond the grave. I mean, we've seen some freaky shit, Jack.
hey kid, you in there? You hear us?
Yes.
Is this your grandfather whispers? Who is that?
Grandfather whispers. Whispers now.
Your grandfather's whispering to you. That's who whispers to you?
Yes. For all these years.
Oh, that's good. You should talk to your grandfather. What does he say? Do you want to know how you are? Teach you how to whittle? I mean, what's he telling you?
To help him. Help him with the book.
Help him with the book. Well, that's good. Knowledge is power. I'm sure you've heard that before. I don't think I coined it. Maybe I did. I don't know, Jack. But
No, I think that's yours.
all right, yeah.
Father Carmine would disagree.
Yeah, well, Father
doesn't he
Carmine
get-
ain't here, kid.
Besides, doesn't he get power from a certain book, right? I mean, he is the father,
Yes.
right?
He said the same
So what's
thing.
right? So this book, did he tell you what book it was?
No.
Is this your grandfather on your mother's side or on your father's side?
I do not know.
I think I put too much of that stuff in that lollipop. This kid is not making any sense to me.
I don't know, with the sugar content of lollipops these days, it might have been just too much lollipop.
As you discuss the nature of lollipops, we'll find ourselves falling away from the scene once again, and rather than the happy summary scene before us, instead we find ourselves once again in a dark place. It is a chamber, an orchestral-looking chamber, with seats lined up at the in the audience, staring down at the stage of the performance. In the seats sit hundreds of robes and quiet, listening people. Their white, long robes which run down past their knees to their ankles. They watch in silence at the performance in front of them, which is that, of course, of the symphony. There is an altar. On this altar, there is a boy. The boy has tentacles in his sides, which are causing him to screech and scream out in agony. And the boy is a younger man, maybe in his 20s or so. His face unrecognizable from the wounds and blood dripping down it. But nonetheless, the music, choral sound, sings loudly in here. And their leader, Lieutenant Martin Paul, pauses the symphony. Thank you, friends. Thank you, lovers. Our performance must come on a hold because we have a report in from two of our finest agents, and for this, I'm gonna need one of you. Mr. Summers, please. He wags a finger. Mr. Summers, you stand from the audience. You are much changed from the last time that we've seen you. For the blessings of Yog-Sothoth have weighed heavily upon your mortal body, and you are now a slave to this symphony as well, a willing participant in what happens here, enjoying in an ecstatic sense the music that the singing brought, and disappointed that it's ended. But your sunken eye sockets, where there are no longer any eyes, step upwards, and despite the lack of eyes, you can still see the blessings of Yog-Sothoth distorting your vision to that of everything being chaotic and roiling. Down the floor you see as maggots and lice. And you step towards Martin Paul on the stage. Mrs. Summers, it is always a pleasure. How has life been treating you recently, my darling?
Truly.
Indeed, feel free to jump in here. So this is Matthew's mother, of course.
Oh.
Oh, snap. I thought you said Mr. Summers. Okay.
That's what I
Mrs.
thought.
Summers.
Mrs. Summers. Well, that's just lovely. I suppose it's been treating me well. We have to stop the music. It's very enjoyable.
I'm afraid it's just a temporary measure, my sweetheart. Don't you worry. We should be here any moment. It's a very important report on your young boy. Matthew, wasn't it?
Matthew? Yes. It's been so long since I've seen him.
Well, your never gonna see him again, you stupid bitch. But it doesn't matter. Because we've got a report on him, so if you could just shut your ugly face, I would really appreciate that. Stay quiet. There you go, sugar. And he puts a hand on your mouth as the tentacles enter in and just grip around your tongue, pulling at it, almost ripping it free. And then he releases again. Where are my manners? I do forget myself. Here they are now, ladies and gentlemen. And a round of applause from the audience goes out as we see Agents Jack and Jim walking down the steps of the auditorium towards the stage.
Finally, Jim, looks like we're getting the respect we deserve.
You're goddamn right, Jack. They're not gonna pass us over for promotion again.
Yeah, we're going straight to the top.
Mm-hmm. Come on, kid. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, you getting this smattering of applause as you come down, and it's like heroes are being welcomed and returned. They're ecstatically happy to see you. And Martin Paul brings you down onto the stage like you are rock stars. Welcome back, my companions. And he kind of like places hands on both of your shoulders as he's kind of standing behind you in that kind of almost like raising your arms up like you're champions to the applause. Says, the heroes do return. So, my friends, please do let us all know, let us in on the secrets. How is our young boy?
Jack, you want to take it away on this one?
But yeah, look, he ain't too bright, right? He's got some sort of gift, but the kid's kind of dull on the head. So,
well, his mother was cow, so that doesn't really surprise me.
But he should be pretty valuable as far as, making him do your will.
Yeah, he fell for the oldest trick in the book.
Fucking lollipop.
The lollipop?
Lollipop.
Used that one many a time myself.
And we were going to retire from the book. We were like, hey, to hell with it. Why not one more go?
Well, speaking of books, did young Matthew tell you anything of what he saw when he entered into that state?
But yeah, what was it? Grandfather whispers. He says he whispers all the time, wants him to help him with some sort of book. Didn't know what book it was. Didn't know which grandfather it was.
But he wanted help reading it or something,
Yeah.
Of course. And you'll hear a kind of we see a smile from Poole, and then a kind of a cheer from the audience as you speak of this grandfather whispers and this book, and as kind of dies it down. All right. Well, it is as we planned, then. That is good news indeed. So, tell me, did he say anything about this grandfather of his? Maybe what he looked like, what he sounded like? We've only been able to get, whispers ourselves.
Nah. I think feeling the pressure of knowing that maybe he didn't ask enough questions, Matthew. Yeah. He said he was old. And he whispered a lot.
Yeah, like a raspy, like he whispered. He had
like a real breathy voice,
And what does he say to young Matthew?
Something about, you gotta help me, you're my only hope or something. I don't know.
Look, young Matthew, you're our only hope. Here's this book. Can you read it?
You wanted Matthew to read the book?
Yeah, that's what he said.
That's what Matthew told us.
Probably some fast talk here.
I don't know what my fast talk skill is, but
Are you kidding me?
Here's what I get.
We use just character sheets for this.
okay.
Even though I have a 75 in it, I rolled an 82.
It's yeah, we won't use the luck.
I fail.
Yep, there you go. So the two of you will watch as Pool's face turns from one of like ecstatic joy to in just moments falling to absolute disgust and hatred. Did you dare just lie to me? I am hurt. I am deeply wounded by this vicious lie. You guys know you don't need to lie to me. I am your friend. There is no need to lie. You could just be honest with me. You didn't ask the boy, did you?
Well, I mean, you know, he was a little out of it, and we just made an educated guess. We weren't, you know, trying to lie. It was, but what's that word? Extrapolation. That's all we were doing was extrapolating.
Of course, you've been extrapolating to us here. I think we all understand, don't we? And the audience kind of like nods, and there's a little kind of smattering of applause again as well. So just be honest with us, Mr. Daniels, Mr. Beam. Exactly how much were you able to glean about this grandfather figure?
Jack looks to Jim, sweating.
And Jim to Jack. Well, I mean, the kid was pretty whacked out of his mind on OP.
Yeah, I mean, he was totally whacked out.
And so, you know, we got a little bit. I mean, what we told you. We know that he's talking to him. But, no, we don't know what he's going to say, boss. I'm sorry, Mr. Poole.
That is fine. You did far more than I would possibly have expected. After all, being such a difficult situation with a young boy, a lot of opiates involved, and things that are difficult to understand. So I completely understand your deep failure on this issue. We will have to, of course, rectify that. Let me just give you an example, Mr. Daniels, Mr. Beam, of the kind of thing that I would have expected you to have brought to me here. Some valuable information, something I could actually use. Be some fucking respect for everything that we're trying to achieve here. And last but not least, something more than this pathetic performance you've just given me here. Quite frankly, it has been embarrassing. So here's what I'm gonna do, Mr. Beam, Mr. Daniels. I'm gonna show you exactly what happens to people who cross a line which you have both just crossed. I'm gonna take this whore over here, and he looks towards Miss Summers, and I'm gonna show you what I'll do to you if you ever fail me again. Do you understand?
Yeah, I understand. Crystal clear, sir.
Crystal clear.
Good. Mr. Summers, if you would please.
Miss Summers will step forward.
You'll watch as he takes a knife from his long jacket, twirls it around his fingers for a moment, and hands it to Mrs. Summers. And he says, "Cut your fucking throat."
She's gonna take the knife and just stare at it a second, and then look at the Jim and Jack, and just with like a really shaky hand, hold the knife up to her throat. Take a deep breath in, and then draw it across.
The blood pours from her neck. It bubbles, and she falls down to the ground. And Poole will kick her face as she does so, as she falls dead on the floor. Well, hopefully this serves as a little bit of enlightenment for you both. Have we all learned a lesson here today?
Loud and clear, Mr.
yeah.
Poole.
Good. I knew that we would work together just fine. I have another task for you both now we're on the matter. Next thing I would like you to do is not immediate. There's going to be a few years before you need to do this next thing for me, but I'm going to ask you to take Sloan, as he will soon be named, to Caligula. His time at the school will soon be done, and when it is, I'll need you to take him from there. Understood?
Yeah, I mean, Father Carmine's
don't
not
want us
gonna
to
like
just-
that, but I think we can. You want us to do anything about him?
Carmine is not important right now. Just take the boy. It should be a simple task, even for a pair of idiots like yourselves.
Okay, well, yeah, boss. So we just stay asleep at Caligula until you need us to do that, then?
Certainly you shall. One last thing, and he goes into his long jacket as well and produces two of the same looking knives that Mrs. Summers just slit her throat with. And he hands them to each of you. And says, "These are the knives that you will cut your throats with if you ever dare to betray or disappoint me again. May they serve as a constant reminder to you. Get to know them well. If they ever taste your flesh, it will be for the first and last time."
Yes, sir.
You got it, Mr. Poole. You got it.
All right then. He's all smiles once again as he pats you both on the back, and there is a large kind of cheer and applause from the crowd as the heroes returned are applauded. Once again, our scene slips away into darkness. And we will watch as there is a woman, younger looking Mrs. Summers, who is giving birth in a hospital wing. Clearly in the final stages of birth, she is like screaming. There are doctors all around, surgeons, and in this little country hospital somewhere in England. As the child Matthew comes out kicking and screaming, the doctor will take the child to swaddle it, and the young Matthew, this doctor looks at you for a moment, and is just tiny little baby being held in his hand, presses down where your heart is, and closes his eyes for a moment and hears a rhythmic beating of drums. That is your heartbeat. Nods to himself and hands the child back to Mrs. Summers. As the scene fades away, you once again return to your bodies, such as they are, with Travis, and let me go back to the scene of him. Travis and, of course, Mildred, Lewis, and Seth. And you'll find yourselves back in another room. Tom, I'd like you to describe to me what Sloane's personal hideout looks like.
Okay. Sloane's personal hideout is kind of like a study with kind of like wooden stained floors that has just got scuffs from where possibly books have fallen on it, where maybe he's kicked his feet. All along the walls, nearly every single wall is a bookcase with books kind of haphazardly put back. There's no particular order. There are books literally everywhere. You would think that there's a table somewhere under all of this, but it's just got sheets and books just strewn all over it. There is a single kind of old wooden chair just behind the desk. There are numerous globes that of different shapes and sizes, and not all of them depict Earth. And the ceiling above is kind of like a constellation of the night sky, and some of them are highlighted, some of them are dimmed. And as you and you can hear almost like a rustling under the papers of all these books, and then pokes up ahead is a little cat, like a black cat with big blue eyes, and kind of just jumps in and out of all the books and papers. Oh, and it doesn't smell particularly good. It smells of a lot of cat shit, basically.
There is Sloan is not in the room at the moment. As you guys look around his antiquarian chamber, there is one other door out of here which is closed at the moment, but perhaps where Sloan has gone, if he is indeed here. You feel like you have arrived at your destination. I of course would like you guys to roll me sanity checks.
Sanity checks. Yeah, okay.
Pruitt, you can take a nat 1. If anyone else is gonna use a nat 20, then let me know, else you'll take a nat 1.
I'll take.
You know
that
what?
one.
You know what, Will? I'll take the nat one. Use the nat one.
All right, just take it. Yeah, I love it. Everyone's just taking the nat 1s around here today. This is perfect.
Also, this cat doesn't like me based on my last wild magic search.
And
this is true.
and Seth doesn't like the cat based on his history. I have written in that when he was 6, a cat told him he would die soon, and so he hates cats because of that.
Well, that's amazing. So you each will drop a. Oh, Greg's not here, so he doesn't use them. And that one here. So I am going to roll dice. And that is 7 points of sanity for witnessing everything that you saw here, which overall maybe isn't that bad after you did see like a hell of a lot of fucked up shit right then.
It's permanent for Lewis.
Good.
Do I get
Permanent
another permanent?
Just a temporary for me.
Yeah, I just got temporary.
I'll have to check on that for it. I'll probably do some reading up on that between this episode and next, but and I'll get back to you, Lewis, and what your permanent insanity is as well shortly. Certainly, temporarily, everyone will be very confused as to who exactly you are. You have lived through several different people's bodies and memories, both in the past and in the future, both in this world and in others. So it's incredibly unclear as to exactly to you what your identity is. You feel like you are losing who you are and becoming someone else. And those memories are kind of bleeding into your own as your mind confuses itself.
I'm still a mother whose son never comes to visit.
Do we still have the wounds that we went through the portal with?
You do, yes.
Okay. Okay. So
your bodies have not been changed.
Okay, as Travis goes through, he's just going to collapse on the floor in pain. He's going,
Can I attempt to give him a first aid check?
his body, making sure he's alive, and as Mildred comes over to treat him, he's going to kind of tap
Don't
her
worry,
face just to make sure.
Okay, hold on, I'm very fragile. Okay.
Drink.
Oh dear, I'm not able to first aid you right now, dearie. Even though
You're
it's
just
been a while
poking it. You're just
since the
poking it,
Civil War.
Mildred.
Stop it, sorry. Yeah, I'll need you a bandage.
Hey, Jack Delgado, Mr. Delgado. Who? We've reached the end. It is. It's nigh. We've reached the end.
And then
Lewis
Seth will
looks
notice
down. Lewis will look down and check out his clothes. Is he back in his immaculate white suit?
He is, yeah. So for reference, everything that you came with is still with you. Everything that you're wearing is still with you, and your bodies are exactly the same. Although maybe there is some like ghost, like trauma going on from when you were in the slave's body. So maybe you think that you have wounds on you. It almost feels like your bodies do. I think that will be Seth's and Lewis's sort of permanent insanity as well. It makes a lot of sense that they are becoming very confused as to who exactly they are, losing their identities as people.
He kind of has a hunch from what he remembers as years worth of toil and slavery, working the flesh, and but he sees his white suit, and that gives him some relief, and he puts his hands in his pockets, and smiling broadly, he shoves a handful of cheese into his mouth and starts chewing.
Can I look up at the ceiling and try to figure out the star stuff with my astronomy?
Yeah,
Let's see
please
if there's any significance to it. Let's see. I'll use 6 luck. Make that a success.
I saw that you rolled a 66 out of 12.
No, I have 60 in the skill. 12 is an extreme. I don't know why it says that. I have
Oh,
a
okay,
60 in
yeah.
astronomy. It's just
Oh, yeah,
being
you're right.
weird.
Extreme. Yeah, I saw that bracket there. So, yes, you might have had the extreme thing clicked on Fancy Grounds. That might have been why I did that. But yes, you can spend a 6 luck to do that.
Okay.
So, the stars that you're looking up as you look up to the night sky, which is above you, no roof to this place.
Mm-hmm.
And it is your own nebula, certainly your own universe.
Okay.
And you can make out Earth from here.
Okay.
You're not on it right now, but you can see it. It's a tiny little ball of dirt. It actually looks like it's on fire right now. Like it's glowing, which it more looks like a star than a planet due to how kind of like hot it is.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna study that for a little bit and be like, why is it Earth on fire? See, that's the Earth right up there. Oh dear, that is not good. Comets around? No, maybe. She's just gonna be looking at that for a little bit and then go to the books after that.
Roll me an idea roll, Mildred.
Okay.
In fact, anyone else that's looking up at the stars and listening to Mildred could probably make the roll as well.
Success.
Okay.
Travis
Anyone else
is-
want to make a roll?
No, Travis is going to basically heal himself, try and pull out the bullet that's in him, and then awkwardly stitch himself up.
Lewis is going to look for signs for of Sloan, like habitation.
Sure, you can roll a spot hidden check here as you take a look around.
Okay.
And yeah, Seth will start kind of moving around the edge of the room, staying away from the cat, but also like kind of looking up, listening to what Mildred's saying.
So, okay. 93. So, Lewis, you don't spot anything around. So, Seth and Mildred, could you guys roll me sanity checks?
No,
Realize.
sure. Yeah,
Fuck.
that's what I figured. Oh, I succeed.
I fail. That's a shot.
Okay, you lose 2 points of sanity, Seth. Mildred,
Yes.
you succeed. And do not feel an overwhelming sense of existential dread and confusion as Seth does. Both of you will realize, however, that the reason that Earth may be on fire is because that is one of the deadly plagues of Egypt, hail and fire.
Oh.
which means that you may not be in the same day that you thought you were. You thought that you were on the 3rd to 4th day. Hail and Fire is the 7th day. So you may have just traveled through both space and also time to be here.
We lost
which means
days.
that your countdown has just set forward a whole lot.
Oh
It's
dear.
here.
Good heavens. I think we've skipped a couple of days.
Yes, the heavens are coming to us now, Mildred. The end. It's here, like I've been
It's
saying.
probably a good thing we're here then, because I don't know how good I'd be dodging a hellfire and brimstone raining down. So it's the little things. You gotta keep a positive attitude, Seth. She's just gonna pat him on the shoulder.
It's coming for us all, Mildred. We've just
It
dodged
always
it for a moment.
is.
Speaking of which,
It's
Seth, you have a wild magic surge here to roll from Pakizal. Thank you, my friend.
Yay.
Well,
2680.
Alrighty. So, Seth, see what happens to you, buddy. 3680. When you
Hazel
die,
said-
your corpse is dismembered and scattered. Good.
Okay.
Good.
Well,
It'll be interesting because my death is expected to yield vast riches to its slayer. So then it becomes, I guess you'd have to regather my body to prove that I was dead to get the money.
Yeah. It's super.
or maybe it's like
yeah.
a pinata. You just go and like money comes out.
Money comes out, yeah.
So,
I've been looking for worth everywhere except within myself.
It was a Disney story all along. But yes, you certainly feel this. Let's see. Lewis, you don't spot any signs of Sloan himself, but you'll see a photo frame on the desk with what looks to be a homeless woman, a man with a gigantic sword, and another man in a flat cap with a baseball bat. Sloan is also on in the picture.
He picks
Seems to
up
be
the picture. Is there anything written on it?
No, I don't think there's any writing on the frame itself. I guess if you were to take it out on the back, it might be dated.
Yeah, he'll check out. He'll take it out of the frame and check out the date.
It's from a couple of years ago.
Tosses it to the side carelessly, and not seeing any sign of Sloan in the room, you'll go to the door.
I'll pick up the picture and put it back on the desk.
Okay.
Seth is looking at books.
There's a lot
Travis.
of books around here. Most of them appear to be like occult in nature.
This is like
what is
Disneyland.
Right, yeah. What is Travis doing?
Travis is going to struggle to his feet after he haphazardly closed his wound, his chest in agony. All right, I'm fine. Don't help me or anything. I'm all good. I only got shot. Oh,
I'm sorry, dearie. I did try, but it seems that they've changed bullets since the Civil War. It's just, I wasn't
Yeah, a
quite
couple
sure how to
times.
get that one out.
right. And almost as if Travis is kind of constantly tapping his shoulder to ensure that there's nothing there, quite regularly, almost as if he doesn't realize he's doing it. Right. Now, we're supposed to find this book, right? Does anyone know what it looks like?
Well, it's going to be radiating an awful presence, most likely.
A present? Like what?
Yeah, well, it's unease, evil, something like the great power. If my theories are correct.
Right, they're just words to me. You know, I don't know what any of that feels like.
Well, I have a feeling we're gonna find out.
I suspect that when we find Sloan, that is when we will find the book.
All right, well, let's. All right, in 5 minutes, we'll go find Sloan, and he'll sit down, and he'll kind of just slump in the corner for a bit and take a few sips of whiskey.
Okay. Yeah, Travis is definitely in need of some recovery time. As he's been shot. I think twice he was shot.
He's reverted to his Mac Drew agency training, though, of to sit back and have some whiskey when recover.
Yeah, this is pretty much how they heal. It's a tried and tested method that the Mac Drew agency have used. So, Lewis, you're opening the door.
Yeah.
Seth is like reading into the books. Is Mildred going with? Good.
Yeah, Mildred will follow Mr. Delgado.
Okay.
She's gonna let Seth at those books.
Yeah, Seth's pretty much just trying to distract himself from his own crumbling sanity, and seeing Travis like pull a flask out, he might like go over and be like, "Do you mind if I have a sip, sir?"
He'll pass it over.
Take a sip and be like,
Jack Daniels. I prefer Jim Beam myself, but thank you.
and hand it back, and go back to looking at books.
You go back to looking at the books as Lewis and Mildred make their way out. The cat jumps off the table and onto the chair at the desk. 5 nat 20s to Seth from Bagazal. Thank you, buddy. He is...
Might make it yet.
Gonna need him. He may make it. So, let's see. It's 5. There we go. Beautiful. You open the door and immediately feel a huge gust of wind blowing past you as the door opens up into the outside, whereas you've got the above, no roof to it. It's similarly, almost uncannily, eerily like the room that Grandfather Whispers had. It opens up and you're basically looking down at the void. It's clearly not safe to step out there.
Well, I don't think we can go this way.
No, I think you're right, Mildred. And he'll shut the door and turn around. But I don't think Sloan is out there either.
All right.
Did I hear something?
The cat gives a low purr as you close the door.
Lewis will look down at the cat. Strange to have a pet here. It seems that it would be awfully difficult to find a food source.
And where does it go? It reeks in here. Who cleans up after it?
I don't think anybody cleans. Sloan is certainly not a clean person himself. Lewis will go down and...
Oh, yeah. Does this cat seem to hate me, or is it like oddly not hating me?
Like cocks its head towards you. Also, Seth's wild magic is that his lungs are visible through his flesh and clothing. At least to you and Lewis. Now, this is due to your permanent insanity believing in the slave memory that the lungs were the engines. And so you can both like look down, and it's a shared delusion that you can see Seth's lungs pulsing. And Lewis, you remember having shot at those lungs at the engine before with your shotgun.
Why, Seth, you are not looking good, my friend. Are you feeling well?
I'm fine, I guess. I mean, what is... You shot me? Did you shoot me?
Why, we all did what we had to do to win. I didn't have a choice in the matter. I would never shoot you if I had a choice, Seth. We're friends.
Seth will almost like kind of bashfully like cover his lungs up with his hands.
I wanna
Just like kind of back away from.
check.
Okay. What do you want to psychology
Slowly
check?
back away.
I want to see if Mr. Lewis Delgado's being honest about that. I would never shoot you if I had the chance, if I didn't have to. That's gonna be a hard success.
Lewis, what does Mildred see in Lewis?
You get the sense that Lewis is telling the truth, that he wouldn't shoot Seth unless he had to, but what that means has to like what that actually means is a little more nebulous.
Okay. Yep. Okay. Mildred was behind them and saw that hell thing happen, so she was kind of like,
What about this cat? And he'll go back to petting the cat. How does the cat react to Lewis?
It doesn't like being touched, really at all. Also, feel free to pull for becoming a $10 Patreon. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate that. I forgot I have alerts set up for that stuff. So there you go. That's Patreon. You will, you'll notice the cat sort of like visibly flinches away and almost like, bites at your hand. Not like trying to draw blood, but clearly doesn't enjoy your touch.
Mildred's gonna
we
fall
can't
up a
trust
little
him.
yard. Throw it for the kitty.
Hey, it might be me being stupid and not knowing about this, but have you considered yelling out for his name? Yelling Sloan, maybe he'll answer.
It's possible. I haven't tried it. My lungs aren't what they used to be.
Oh, apparently mine are.
Sloan? Are you here?
Cat once again kind of cocks its head towards you.
I think I have an idea that this cat may be Sloan.
Why would he turn himself into a cat, though?
Oh, there's all sorts of reasons why. In fact, my mother used to frequently turn herself into an owl and just go about at night sometimes, look at her things. She did a little bit of reconnaissance during the Civil War, you see. I wasn't advanced enough at the time to learn that type of magic, but it is possible.
Your mother was literally a night owl?
Yeah, well, in a matter of speaking, yes.
Wow. I don't know. I don't like cats, so.
Sloan, if you're the cat, and he like Seth is like yelling at the cat. You stop it right now. I don't like your kind.
Mildred, roll me an occult.
Okay. I can do that. That's a success. Well,
So-
why did I roll and navigate? But whatever, it's fine. But still success.
Cats are used by witches for a reason and often are associated with things of the occult because cats can see on multiple levels. They can see more than just the first plane of existence, which mortals can see. But they, having been given gifts, perhaps long ago by different gods, can see things that we can't, and are often used as vessels of truth by oracles or prophets, and also as a sense for demons or spirits or ghosts or things that aren't right. So what if this cat is Sloan? He's taken that form so that he can see what you really are. As you kind of shout at him and kind of call out, you're getting this understanding, you'll watch as the cat changes and its kind of very fleshy body pulls itself upwards, and it's almost as if Sloan is coming out from the cat at first. There's no blood or sinew or anything like that, but clearly kind of morphs out of it as he stands up to his full height. And you see the hollow, sunken eyes, the Rasputin beard, and shabby-looking outfit that Sloan is wearing, the shock of hair as he looks out at you.
Why would you do that to yourself, man?
Cats
hello
can
there, dearie.
see the truth of matters.
And what did you see?
I didn't like everything that I saw.
Is
Not
this
often.
Sloan?
Yes, Sloan, this is Mr. Travis. You haven't met yet, and I don't know where the father is, but his father Carmine is with us as well. Mr. Travis, this is Sloan.
You right, mate?
I see. Yes. It is good to meet you. Good to see some of you again as well.
You were a very hard man to find, Sloan. I wish that you had told us before you went through that portal.
I didn't exactly want to be found. That's why.
Understandable. A lot of people were looking for you.
And they are right on our heels. I'm afraid that your hiding place here, it's simply not sustainable.
Yes. The end is coming, Sloan. Surely you've seen it. Coming for us all.
I have, but there is far more at stake than just this one world.
The world's a pretty damn important place to us, though.
Perhaps, but the book, it is so much more. Has the power to create or destroy so much more. That Earth is merely one chapter. And not even a chapter, more of a footnote of the book, which made everything else. Yes, the end is coming for Earth, but in the wrong hands, this book could destroy everything. You came here, you must have seen how much there is. The vast expanse of universes and worlds and time. You must know how insignificant Earth is.
But don't you think, Sloan, that Earth can be so much more?
I don't think it should be.
What are your intentions with that book?
I am going to keep it safe from everyone.
Keep it safe where?
There are other places to go, other worlds. This one may burn, but that is the price we
burning
must
right
pay
now.
for our sins. Humanity has sinned. Must be judged for it.
Judgment.
You know who you are starting to sound like, Sloan? You're starting to sound like Martin Poole.
Just a tad.
All he needs is the accent.
Not at all. he wants to destroy everything. He wants this book.
Yes.
He gets it, then terrible things will happen. But I can keep it safe as I have done here for years. And I will do so for many years to come. I'm keeping it safe from everyone, even you.
Now, keeping it safe is a very high priority indeed. We cannot allow the symphony, or even Caligula for that matter, to get their hands on it. I believe they've been compromised, and it's just a whole bunch of not good. However, I do believe that everything goes in cycles, but I don't believe that it's time for the Earth's cycle to be over. I think it still has some life left in it. Is there anything you can think of involving that book to stop what's been started by a symphony?
To read the book is to lose one's mind. I've seen it happen before. It wasn't pleasant. People have given their lives just to
Things rarely are.
of this book. Can things be changed? Yes. Should they be changed? Never. For humans
They
to
already
read this
have
book.
been.
Have they? Or is this what the book has always written?
But the book itself is being used to change it, is it not? I mean, to set these events into motion, so that means it can unmake them.
You don't understand. The book is everything that has been put into motion, ever. The book isn't changing anything. The book has made it so. You could rewrite, I suppose, but where would be the use in changing what is already perfection?
Mildred,
Yes.
I like Mr. Sloan, but what he's saying doesn't sound like the Mr. Sloan that I mean, disrespect, Sloan. You would be so willing to let the world burn when you have the answer, the solution in your hands. So what has changed for you?
I have seen the truth of this matter. If I allow you to take this, then worse things could happen. Sacrificing Earth is a small footnote where whole chapters could be destroyed. What has been written before? Yes, Earth will be judged unworthy. Humanity has sinned, but other worlds will be created. You must have seen them on the way here. Strange places with different peoples and architectures and cultures and life. The book may destroy, but it also creates. Its creator knew perfection when he was writing it. You cannot write perfection. No one else can.
Right. Well, I don't give a shite about other worlds. All I care about is this one. So if we can use the book, can you at least tell us or give us something to actually try to fight back? Anything.
I cannot hope to help you. The only thing I can offer is to give you a way out. You can come
A way out where? What do you mean a way out?
You can follow me. Wherever the book takes us, we'll go. We'll find what has been written long ago. The key to all knowledge. We'll pass through the gateway and beyond. To Grandfather's room.
where all creation takes place.
The
There will be
grandfather that
whispers
whispers.
I don't.
Who is this grandfather? Do you have a name for him?
It's grandfather. Grandfather whispers.
He
I'm not
needed your help.
so sure about his intentions, seeing as
He
how
wanted me to keep it safe. He spoke to me recently. Showed me the perfection.
See, I believe that the symphony also wishes to serve this grandfather whispers. They would do even more terrible things if they got this book. Are you sure that Grandfather Whispers knows all of what's up, if you know what I mean? Can I do
wise.
like a psychology check on him to see if he's
Certainly,
got
yeah.
a little bit of marbles? I'm gonna nat 20 that. I really wanna know. I've seen a lot of Sloan at this point, and wanna
Yeah, he's not speaking like he normally does.
not like he normally does. Yeah.
Yeah, he seems to not quite be himself.
Dearie, I don't think you are quite yourself right now.
Yes, slow down.
On the contrary, I feel more myself than ever before. Don't call me Sloan. Call me Matthew.
But that's your. Oh God.
Oh dear.
Lewis pulls out his sawed-off shotgun and just sort of levels it in front of him. He says, Matthew, I like this world. I like Coca-Cola. I like McDonald's. I like New Orleans in the wintertime, and I like New York City in the summertime. And there might be many, many worlds out there, beautiful and strange, and I have seen some of them myself. But I think it's time to stop talking, and time for you to give over that book.
Yeah, I finally like this side of you, Lewis. Straight to the point. And Travis will take out his pistol and point it at Sloan too.
I'm afraid
Sloan, have we
I can't
spoken
let
on
you
the phone
have-
yet?
the book.
Have we had that conversation on the phone yet? Time has been awful strange lately.
Right. Struggle to recall. I think I spoke with you.
Yes.
And Matthew, perhaps you might need another laced pop. That. Don't you have some of your medicine that you always have?
I recall clearly now what they did to me. Silencing grandfather from me. It's not right. They shouldn't have taken me away from my family, from my grandfather.
Will, I'm going to do a spot hidden to see if I can find any vials of laudanum or anything around in this room.
Sure, nice
I
one.
succeeded.
There are empty vials of laudanum in here. They look like they have been poured out.
Shit.
Okay. Can I... Because Mildred's always knitting. Mildred wants to try something. She's gonna be like, well, I did make you a scarf in the time I haven't seen you. Here we go, dear. She's just gonna kind of walk up and put it on him. And when she does, I'm gonna cast Earthly Serenity on him.
Okay.
Which inhibits the ability to feel pain and brings a calm state of mind for a limited time to the recipient of the spell. All wounds are ignored, but also the mind is serene. Phobias or manias can be ignored, and sanity losses are noted but not deducted until the effect ends.
Okay, do you need to make a roll for this?
Nope,
Just happens?
yeah.
Cool.
I deduct magic points, but I'm gonna try to calm his mind down as if like the effect of laudanum, but with just my magic, my earthly serenity.
You see his eyes. It's almost like they've opened for the first time after he shuts them, and you sense a clarity briefly returning to Sloane's face. Where am I?
You're in your hiding space. We've come to visit you. Earth is blowing up because of the plagues. You've been listening to Grandfather's whispers. You are Sloan, dearie, and you've been listening to the voices, and I think they've been getting to you. You're hiding the Necronomicon, but we kind of need it to stop Earth from blowing up.
Where's Matthew? Is he here? He isn't here, is he?
He's being suppressed for a time, my dear. And I kind of take the ends of his scarf a little bit.
Yes, Jolly was always good at helping him go away. What are you all doing here?
Where
did you find me?
Prospero, dearie. He tracked your spell. He was able to recreate an opening to it. We found you. I gestured up to the ceiling. Earth is currently going through a series of plagues. I believe we're on the 7th day's worth.
Time's running out.
You've got to stop it. Can you help us, Sloan?
You have to take the book from me.
Where is it?
Yes, where is the book? Where is it, Sloan? Before it's too late.
It's here somewhere. I have to remember. Let me look for it round here. And he starts looking through the bookcases.
Okay, can I assist?
Travis will help.
Everybody roll me spot hiddens.
Okay.
What about library use? Is there any?
No.
No, it's just looking.
Nope.
Yeah, it's
Nope.
more so
Travis,
like library use categorizing. And
Travis is like
296s.
Travis is looking through things. I don't even know what it looks like. I'm just pulling books all over the place.
Seth keeps getting distracted by all these first edition occult books, and
I can get a lot of money for that one. Oh.
I'm gonna use.
You get the AD&D version of the Necronomicon, but it's
Gonna use.
got to go through all this math to read it.
Nat 20.
Oh, not 20. Okay.
Get a nat 20. I want to find this book before other people do.
Interesting.
Oh God,
Lewis is not actively looking.
Okay. You You'll search around, scrambling for books along with Sloan as he's like, was it here? Maybe I put it here. I don't remember. Mildred, you look for it as well. Immediately catch your eyes onto something, and you pull it out. This book, and it has kind of like bound leather skin around it. It doesn't seem to glow in any kind of way. It just has skin wrapped around it. Roll me an idea roll real quick though.
Okay. That's a success.
This thing should feel a lot more magical than it does. You're barely even picking up traces of anything from this book.
Sloan?
Yes. Oh, found it.
What have you? This is not nearly as magical as I believe it should be.
Wait. Let me look. And he's gonna go to look at the book.
Okay. I'm gonna keep my hand on his shoulder as he does.
It's another nat 20 for Mildred from Jeanette. Thank you.
Can I roll a psychology check to see if I think that Sloan is lying about looking for the book? Maybe he already knows and he's still just trying to yank us around.
Right.
The regular success.
You don't think he is. He looks frenzied and frantic, trying to find his book as quickly as he can, as if he knows that he's no longer going to be himself in a few minutes' time. So he like grabs the book and looks for it. He opens it, and you turn the pages, and he turns the pages rather. 5 more nat 20s for Mildred from Blackwing. Thank you, buddy. It's like whenever she uses them, she just gets topped right back up again. It's crazy.
Needed. I'm very old and feeble. Thank you very much.
So as you watch him do this, nothing immediately happens. He looks over it, and he's gonna throws the book down. No, I made that one in case said, come, where is it? And then he kind of puts his hand over his heart, and he closes his eyes for a second, and all of you will begin to hear the sounds of distant beating drums and music.
Oh, I don't like the sound of that.
That's where he put it. Matthew put it there. When he spoke with grandfather, he said
Yeah.
he left his mark on him, but it was something inside him, not on his body. Something inside him.
Oh dear.
Wait a minute.
So, what? The book's inside you?
You're gonna have to take it from me before I turn again. Before he's back.
Yeah. Wait. You want us to cut you open and rip a book outside of you?
It's the only way.
Didn't he say that there would be a sacrifice or something? Didn't?
Right.
Oh my God.
Mildred's gonna shuffle over, give Sloan a big hug. I'm so sorry, dearie. We will do our best to keep it safe from the symphony. And also, she's gonna pull him in real close and kind of be like, and thank you for your phone call. It was very enlightening. I think it's helped me figure out a bit of a puzzle.
And that's 6 failures for me from Forbrand, a wild magic surge for Lewis, and from Pakazal, 2 nat 20s for both Travis and for Lewis. Awesome, thank you guys, super generous today.
It's good to know the chat is on our side.
Yeah, you guys are getting some assists today. It may be because today's been like super fucked up.
So fucked up. Yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on right now.
Yeah, good.
Wait.
Yeah, you're gonna have to take it before he comes back, and as Mildred, you lean in. Yes. One of them can't be trusted.
I'll whisper into his ear. I'm like, I think it's Mr. Delgado.
Maybe. I see darkness in all of them. Let's have to. He's losing who he is. And Travis. The darkness lies there as well, and Father Carmine has a curse upon him. And his sons. Upon me.
We're all only human.
The end. The last day when it comes to death. The firstborn. Be careful, Mildred. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry as well. You were such a nice grandson. And she's gonna use one of her indestructible knitting needles and shank Sloan.
You'll run the needle through to his heart, and you see a piece fall over Sloane's eyes for perhaps the first time ever. And as that happens, a small smile spreads across his face, and the distant beating of drums stops for just a moment. And he says, I'm going to meet Jolly and the others.
Yes, dearie. And can I, like, just reach up and grab the picture frame and hand it to him?
It's just before Matthew returns that you watch as Sloan is smiling at the photo in his hands weakly. And as Sloan passes and falls down onto the ground, you stop Matthew from returning. And your work is not yet done, however. You hear the beating of the heart continues, like the beating of those distant drums that you keep hearing. The book's in there somewhere.
Travis is gonna walk over to Mildred and
I'm
Waste.
holding, like, Sloane's other hand.
hand on the shoulder. All right, lass. You don't have to see this.
Oh. It's all right. He's at peace now, and I don't think he's had that in a very, very long time.
Has anyone got a knife?
As Seth is kind of barely maintaining a grasp on his sanity and identity, well, would you say that it might be appropriate that he looks down and there's a knife in his hand?
Mm-hmm. Really?
A very familiar knife. One that was given to him to go find Sloan, to find Matthew. Like, we'll accomplish the task. We can recover it. It won't be nice. The end comes for us all.
It does indeed.
He steps up to Sloan and kind of pulls his shirt open and slips the knife between his ribs.
I close his
Cuts
eyes
open.
and cover his face with the scarf.
And just kind of cut along the rib to open it up a little bit and begin feeling for something, anything.
The heart is still pulsing and beating as you slip through the knife and open up Sloane's chest and bring out the still beating heart of Sloan. And we're going to fade away from that moment to a hospital wing. It's incredibly bright here, and your eyes are unaccustomed to the brightness, Sloan. As you wake up in this hospital bed. Your body looks to be unharmed. As you look down around you, you're wearing a simple patient sort of outfit you would typically wear. There's a door, and you're just lying down in this bed.
Sloan will attempt to get up.
You can do.
Yeah, he'll get up and kind of weakly lean up against the bed and look around and then head towards the door and attempt to open it.
You'll get to the door, and about that time it's just opening and someone is walking through. It's a man. Fred, do you mind describing this man to us?
Yeah, he's kind of tall, thin, kind of shaggy dark hair, pretty familiar to Sloan maybe. He's got a martini glass in one hand and he's looking at a chart and busts the door open. Is like, okay, nope, Sloan, we're gonna need, come on back, let's go. As he, shoulders off his white doctor's coat and sets the drink down and helps Sloane back into bed. And it's like, hey, there's going to be plenty of time. We're going to explain everything. You do remember me, right? Your buddy Pierce.
Of course.
The doc.
I remember you, Doctor. Of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah. And, he kind of looks down at Sloane's chest and he's like, ugh. It was always just a saying. Put a pin in it, but you didn't have to take it so literally. I mean, come on, guy.
It was somewhat urgent.
Oh, well. I hope it was worth it. I hope it doesn't go the same way did with me. But that's all in the past. Everything's fine. You're gonna be fine now, Sloan.
Yes. Yes, I think I will be.
You,
Where are the others?
Oh, the others? Actually, I was about to go hang out with old Jolly. Once you get a little bit better, once you get a little bit more recovered, more acclimated, though, you can join us.
I would like
Got a lot to
that.
catch up on. Yeah?
I would like that very much. Yes.
You need anything? You feel like you need anything right now?
A book to read.
I think we could work that out.
As camera passes out through the hallway from where Sloan rather, and Dr. Pierce are speaking, it fades out to outside the hospital wing, where the words "Do no harm" are enamelled in a plaque above the hospital itself. And that's where we're going to end tonight's episode of Call of Cthulhu Doors to Darkness, my friends. Whew. Oh boy. Yeah, that happened.
First half of that, I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Good. Good.
When you know in the
Holy
zone.
shit, that was an episode, my friends. That was an episode and a half. And I hope you guys there in the chat enjoyed the little story that we had to tell today. If you did enjoy it, please do let us know in chat. What was your favorite moment? And of course, a couple of returning characters. If you haven't watched the previous seasons, go back on YouTube and watch them. You'll enjoy these moments a lot. Nice little nods here and there to the previous seasons and shows with characters. And man, yeah, some crazy good improv again from you guys. It's always fun throwing these flashbacks, flash forwards towards you and just seeing what happens. And after Jim and Jack had that amazing scene last week, we had to do some more. And again, a big thank you to Blackwing as well for helping me out on that first scene of that donation and coming up with a bunch of crazy ideas. And of course, for the rest of you guys who have donated here in chat today, Pakisau, Blackwing, Jeanette, Forbrand, Isriva, you guys, awesome stuff. Thank you so much. And of course, don't go anywhere because we've got Warhammer coming right up, which is sure to be emotionally breaking as well. So join us for that. But that almost felt like a finale in a way because for me, just to touch on this briefly, because we had so much shit go on. Obviously, our story isn't yet told, but we did end the story in a way. For Sloan and Matthew, and we actually covered a hell of a lot more than I actually thought we would today. I actually messaged Tom before, and I was like, "Well, there'll be plenty of more opportunities to play Sloan, in the future in these coming episodes. We've got 5-6 more episodes to go, so don't worry about it." I was like, "Oh shit! Here we go. This is happening." So, that was a lot of fun. It was nice for me to see that story ended. But let's go on a cast and crew. Did we enjoy ourselves? And of course, where can we find you guys online? Thanks for all the nice comments there in chat. Really appreciate it. Tom, big episode, especially for you.
Yes,
was
Sloan. It was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. Sloan is a character very, very close to my heart. He's possibly my most favorite character that I've ever played, and I think the ending that he had was so beautiful for him. It was just so perfect for him, that the fact that he took the Necronomicon and he wanted to keep it, and the intention was good, that he wanted to keep it from people to do no harm. But of course, there's only so much you can do when there's a damn being of unimaginable power in the back of your head before you kind of give in. And the way it ended to him and being reunited to possibly the only friends that he's ever had was very, very nice. Very nice indeed. I'm very excited to see next week where the scene continues when the Necronomicon is now in play, or at least a beating heart that could potentially represent the Necronomicon, something like that. I'm not quite sure about that, but I'm sure we'll find out. I think that is going to be a very tenseful episode. Very tense. Myself, I'm Redundant UK. You can check me out on Twitch at Redundant UK, where I stream a lot of lovely video games and stuff like that. In addition, you can also check me out on Twitter, Redundant_UK, if you want to get in contact. And I am also part of a website called larpbook.com. If you enjoy LARPing, which is live action role playing, or you don't know what it is, or you're thinking of getting into it, check out that website. It is your go-to for all LARPing news and everything like that. I'll see you next week.
Thanks so much, Tom. Great start today, as always. And thank you for letting me fill the shoes of Sloan there at the end. Hopefully I gave him a fitting end to his tale for you. And Lindy.
Hi. That was very... wow. Yeah, that was an intense episode. I feel really bad because Mildred liked Sloan so much. She wanted to see if she could save him, but then at the end she realized the only way she could save him was by killing him and trying to save the world. And oh my gosh, I was just like, I'm sure a little bit of the old lady is washed off from the little bit of crying that I did. But everything's great. I can't wait to see what happens next week now that we have the Necronomicon. Oh my gosh. Just absolutely insane, as always, with Call of Cthulhu. Excellent job, Will. I also liked Jack and Jim coming back. They're amazing. And who kind of went up to Martin Poole was like, shit, maybe we should ask more questions. That was one of my favorite moments of the game. But you can find me online at Laugh Love Lindy on Twitch and Twitter. I stream all sorts of Dungeons and Dragons, Call of Cthulhu, Firefly RPG, Star Wars. I'll be back in 3 hours for Star Wars RPG tonight, where I think I'm playing a blind kid. We're gonna fight some Sith. It's gonna be real interesting. Hopefully I don't have to kill any party members there too. We'll see. But yeah, I have a schedule posted on my Twitter of all the games and stuff that I'm in, so go check it out. And thank you guys so much in chat for all the wonderful, awesome help that you've given us.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Lindy. Great job as always. Don, another big episode for Jim and Jack, of course, but also for Lewis. How was it for you?
Yeah, this one had so much going on in it that I loved. The first stretch, the race, everything that led up to that, and then everything that happened after that. When we were slaves in some sort of, I don't even, future alternate world, something terrifying. That was one of the like more horror filled scenes that I think I've ever played in Call of Cthulhu, and you've thrown some pretty horrific things at us in the past couple of seasons. I really, really enjoyed that. I was hoping that Jack and Jim would come back. I didn't expect it to be already, but it was great. I loved it. I liked how it bounced between these really terrifying scenes and then like a slightly more like lighthearted comedic scene, and kind of went back and forth. And then we ended on something that was really emotional. I loved it so much. I can't wait for next week. Not worried about the Necronomicon coming out into play. I think it's just going to be, business as usual for all the characters. But it'll be fun no matter what happens. So you can find me on Twitter at Jonathan Fry. I do a bunch of different stuff. I'll shout out this week. Project Chronos is back this Saturday at 2 p.m. It's a 2-hour pulp Cthulhu game. So if you like Cthulhu, Greg's in it, Kiana's in it. It's a great cast, and it's pretty cool. Check that out.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Don. And last but not least, Pruitt.
I'll tell you what, Will. Almost every week I thank you for joining or allowing me to join this family, because we run the entire gamut of emotionality. That's a word that can be used in that phrase. But holy crap, like Don was saying, like almost joyous moments, plunged into horror, back into some semblance of relief, back into more horror, being able to bring the doc back at the end there. Like, I love that he's basically like the guy who greets everyone at the gates, because he was the first, and he went and set up the mark to the still and made sure everything was ready in heaven for everybody to show up. And so yeah, it's so much fun. I love this game so much. I can't wait to see how this ends. Now that Seth is holding the beating heart, and what that means, we shall see. But he's about as close as he's ever been to his ultimate goal, which is to clutch the Necronomicon in his grubby little hands. So maybe it was all worth it. I guess we'll have to find out next week. But until then, I'm still Pruitt, one half of WebDM. We probably are going to have a new show out today at some point. About to jump on some Warhammer. Can't wait for that. Back next Tuesday with my game Starward Bound. It's a lot of fun. We're having a blast over there, being on the backs of giant celestial beasts at this point. And yeah, can't wait to come back next week for some more Cthulhu and lose our minds a little bit.
Absolutely. And thank you guys so much in chat for being here tonight. You guys have been an awesome audience as always. The amount of what the fuck wills in chat today has pleased me greatly. So yes, I hurt you, but it's okay because I love you. And that's why it makes it okay for me to do these terrible, terrible things to these people that I love and to you guys in chat who I love. So yes, happy Gumball Day to everybody. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed yourselves. Definitely come back next Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern for the next episode of Doors to Darkness. Catch up on YouTube and keep an eye out in the not too distant future for some incredibly exciting news involving myself and these guys and Call of Cthulhu and things and games and books and shows that may very well be happening in the not too distant future / past. I'll leave you on that one. But Warhammer's coming up next. Until next time, my friends, try not to roll too many nat ones because we want to be here laughing when you do. Good night, everybody. Bye!